Hey guys, it's Kelly here with another Coffee and Christ. Um, I want to come to you guys today with a video about my most recent blog post, which is called The Rock in Your Shoe. My apologies, I am on day 3 of a hemiplegic migraine attack, and as hard as these videos are to do when these things are happening, I also want to be very raw with you guys, and I've told you that before, about when things like this do happen. I think it's important for you to see this side of my life as well. I think sometimes it seems like things are great, and they are. I mean, I can't complain too much, but these get tough, and they're hard for me to push through, but they happen a lot. And so I'm gonna do this today a little lopsided, I guess. So anyway, it's a good intro to my blog post. Brent and I were having a conversation about kind of what it's like to live with this kind of thing. And I guess the best example I could think of was, it's like having a rock in your shoe. Let me explain. So I feel like every time you take a step and there's this rock in your shoe, it hurts. It's annoying. It's painful. You want it to go away. And sometimes we're in positions where we can remove the rock, and sometimes we can't. And it's kind of like that, I just go through every single day, and every step that I take, there's this reminder that my life is different now, and this is where I am. And so in my blog post, I talked about 3 different outcomes that I can kind of think of with this rock in your shoe. And I feel like we all have a rock in our shoe. I don't know what your rock is. And sometimes we have more than one rock, and each rock is different. But we all go through things, right? Like, we all have this stuff. And so sometimes I think our rock is removable. There are situations in our lives where things are painful for a time, but they're temporary, and God allows us to move past them. He allows us to reach down and pull that rock out, or he pulls the rock out for us. And then we get to move on, minus that pain, until the next rock. I feel like this life is hard, and it's not always going to be pain-free. But sometimes we're afforded that little bit of mercy. And there are plenty of situations that, again, are painful for a time, but they're temporary. Then there are situations where that rock is just, it's there for the long haul. It's not going to go away. It's a permanent fixture in your shoe. But we develop this callus, and I don't mean that in a sense of like we become hardened to it, or we ignore it, or we pretend like it's not there. I mean it in a more of a protective way. Like, God allows our skin to thicken a bit to where we can endure the pain. It's still there, but it's not as painful. I am starting to feel like hopefully I'm moving into that category. I am trying some new medications that seem to be working. If they continue to produce the types of outcomes that they should, these chronic conditions that I have will be chronic. I mean, by nature, they're not going anywhere, barring a miracle. But they can become somewhat manageable with this combination of medications, with lifestyles changes, with stress reduction. And there's things that I can do that it might hurt, but it doesn't hurt as much as it did in the beginning. And so there's that. The last thing is, sometimes these rocks are there and they're permanent, but that pain is not necessarily going to go away. We are called to lean on the grace of God, to live in harmony with it. And I think a really good example of this would be the loss of a loved one, especially somebody really, really near and dear to you. That doesn't go away. It doesn't change. My example of this would be my grandparents. I lost them. Oh gosh, it's been several years now. But they were a huge part of my life, and I can't even talk about it without crying. And I know people who've lost parents, siblings, children. Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine that pain. That's not going to go away. I'm sorry. That doesn't go anywhere. It stays. It can become different. It can become, I don't see a world where that gets any easier. I think it just changes. But I think that we get this sense of peace that passes understanding, any human understanding, because we are allowed that relief through Christ, and Christ alone. He is the only way that we are able to live in harmony with situations like that. And there are other things, I'm sure, that fall under that category too. But yeah, I just, that's a tough one. And if you are going through something like that, my heart cries out for you. And I know that that's a pain that, again, it's a rock that is going to always hurt. And we feel very bruised every time we step on it. But there is a way to live in harmony with it. And again, that is through this grace and peace that we are afforded in Christ. So with that, I am going to read you the verse that I chose to pair with this particular blog post. And it's Philippians 4:7, which says, "And the peace of God, which passes all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds, in Christ Jesus." And it is so important that we lean on God in all of these different situations. He has the tools. He has the things that we need to get through this life. And like I said, some of our rocks might be removable. A lot of them are there, and they're there to stay. It's just what type of rock they are, what type of condition our skin is in, and how we lean on Christ to get through the really, really tough stuff. So anyway, I really hope that this is encouraging to you guys. I hope that it can bring you some sense of joy. And I'm wishing everybody a Merry Christmas. If I don't make another video before then, I have surgery next week. So if you are a person that prays, I would covet your prayers. I'm hoping that this will mend my knee, and that can be a rock that can be removed. So anyway, stay safe, you guys, as always. Much love and blessings your way. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.